Hey, good Friday morning, everybody. It is really great to be with you all. Thanks again for making time out of your busy day to join me early here on Friday morning. It's very early. I got a busy day today, so I had to come down to the landing and get this taken care of. And I got to tell you, when we were down here doing the show last night, and thanks for joining us for the Danny Cadota show last night, it was a great one listening to all of those weather, near-death type of incidents that Danny survived and was able to talk about on the show. Man, if you haven't listened to it, go back and listen to it. But the weather here was gorgeous, beautiful evening. It was actually kind of warm out. And today's going to be another day just like that before we go back to the atmospheric river. Sounds bigger than it is, I think. Actually, if you look up to the northern part of the state, it's been really brutal up there in San Francisco. They got over 5 inches in a 24-hour period up there of rain, so it's been pretty crazy. Down this way, we get a little bit of heavy rain from time to time. It's been a lot of wind, and we're certainly looking down the barrel of that. All right, you know what time it is. It's time to get you all caught up. Freshly brewed, delicious coffee. It's time for the morning briefing. All right, great to be back with you all. Thanks for joining us. And once again, I can't thank you all enough for your continued great support, watching all the shorts that we're putting out, the Danny Cadota show, Friedman Adventures live, and everything else that we are doing here in 2023 has been met with a ton of views on your part. Surging up past 1.5 million views now, as we are on a roll, and it's all thanks to you. If you don't mind, hit that like button for us right now. Subscribe if you haven't already, and tick that little bell. We'll let you know when there's new content available for you. And so every time we put out a new show or a new piece of information, you'll be notified. And you can either go and watch it immediately or watch it a little bit later. And please share these videos if you get a chance. Really appreciate it. We couldn't be doing all of what we are doing without your help. We deeply appreciate it. If you want our charter list, Endeavor almost sold out. I think there's 2 spots left on there. We've got a great 2-day trip on board the Apollo here at the end of May and June. That has got white sea bass written all over it with all this squid that has been around town this year. Man, you got to think that it's going to be a great sea bass fishing. I've got to think that like 95% for sure up there in the Channel Islands, and I'll give it like a 70% really good bite. Maybe a Catalina, Clemente, Santa Barbara Island, I think, is for sure. Nicholas is another island that's for sure. And, you know, many people think that it's the early spring when it's best for white sea bass. It's actually June, July. Those months are your best white sea bass months. So jump on the Apollo. It's a 2-day trip. It should be a lot of fun. Or you can jump on the Endeavor with us. And then we've got several other great trips. The Amigo, man, my favorite. I love fishing on board the Amigo. And, of course, we've got some stuff we're going to be adding in San Diego, Malahini trips, and perhaps another trip on board the Apollo out of Sea Forest sport fishing. All right, let me get you into it, get you caught up. We've got a nice day of weather, so that gives us an opportunity to catch some fish. Let me make this general comment that we're going to have mostly breezy, sometimes windy, like unfishably windy in some areas like Tanner Bank, from Saturday evening until Wednesday. Okay, now there will be periods that are fishable, especially along the coast where you can get out and catch some sand bass, and I'll have more on that in one moment. But for the most part, we're going to have some breezy weather, and we have these fronts coming in here, dropping more rain on Saturday and Sunday, it looks like, and then, you know, off and on rain and some wind, and at times, even locally, it's going to be way too much. Looks like Sunday could be very, very breezy on the local scene, and that will extend down the Baja coast. The further south you go, the less wind in some areas, but you're going to have to watch that forecast and keep an eye on it. It's going to be very volatile Saturday afternoon until Wednesday. And then it looks like if you look out to the weekend, it's going to get breezy again. So will we ever get back to that bluefin on the Tanner Bag? Maybe not. Maybe it's over. Not because there's no fish out there. We really don't know the answer to that. Water temperatures have come down, but that squid that was holding out there presumably is still there. And if it is, well, that's the restaurant, and it's got a 24-hour open sign on it, and those bluefin are enjoying dining out there. No matter how cool the water gets, they still have to eat. And one would think they could still very well be there, as it just seems that the bluefin tuna have taken up residence here along the northern Baja coast into Southern California. Beyond, they were up there in the Northern California region and up above that even. So it's been really crazy to see this whole transition in our fishery here in Southern California. Incidentally, Brian Wynn, what a seminar he put on at Turner's Outdoorsman Fishing Club the other night. I was there. We videotaped it. It's there for you to watch. Check it out. It's really a great job. Brian has become a really dear friend of Friedman Adventures and of me, and he's an exceptional guy. He's got great knowledge, and he's willing to share it with you all. So check that out for sure. Going south of the border down there, our friend Sean Morgan still catching marlin, a few thresher sharks with the striped marlin bite. If you're willing to run a ways, it's been pretty darn good. There's a little bit of dorado mixed in with it. Overall, some good fishing. Nice air temp down there in the 70s, water temp in the mid 70s. Perfect time of the year to fish in Cabo. If you're tired of the cold weather here, that's a good place to go. And normally, fishing is pretty good, and it is right now, but sometimes you can fish right out in front. Sean has fished as close as 2 miles out from San Jose del Cabo Harbor to as far as 50 miles from there, where he has to run a ways and go find some more fish. So once again, pretty good fishing down there in that neck of the woods. As we move you up and look at the San Quintin area, they of course fish San Martin Island, and they fish the coast where there's some high spots. And man, I'll tell you, the yellow bite down there has been good. Nice forkies, yellowtail in the 15 to 25 pound class. They love to bite a yo-yo iron, or if you can snag some mackerel and drop or loop a mac down to the bottom, you're either going to catch a great big giant ling, a great big giant boccaccio, or a great big yellowtail. I mean, it's good fishing down there, and I highly recommend you give it a try. And the surf fishing, it is so good down there. Frank Savino, who ran the Enterprise, and you can see his great podcast on Friedman Adventures. Frank is a dear friend, a great guy. He's down in Baja, living down there now, and he keeps teasing me. Come on down, man, the perch are biting. It doesn't take much to get me to poke my nose across the border. So Frank, I'll be coming down to see you really, really soon. And we're going to have to go out and get another great meal like we did last time. That sure was a lot of fun. So good perch fishing in that neck of the woods. Up there, where our buddies are in Punta Banda area, near Ensenada, about a 30-minute drive out there. Blackfin sport fishing, doing great on the bottom fish. They are running down there near Santo Tomas, catching lings and reds and boccaccio and treefish and, you name it, sheepshead, whitefish. Having really great fishing down there. One of the great things that I experienced with Blackfin is that when we got in, we went into their little garage area, let's call it, and the guys started filleting fish. So they're off to the side filleting fish, while Victor, in this case, was setting up this incredible sashimi plate, kind of a ceviche sashimi plate. And it not only was as delicious as you could imagine, it was so good. But Victor went to great pains to make sure the presentation was also good. It was really fun. And instead of getting in and just taking off, you get to bond with the guys. You get to spend some time with the guys. It really made a difference. It's a great, great way to run an operation, and they do a great job of it down there. So good rock fishing. Occasional yellowtail, I think, is a possibility. And if you're going by Punta Banda, and you will be, you'll find some bird schools, bonita. You can put an albacore-style feather back there, and they'll bite on that. Bonita in the 3 to 5 pound class, sometimes even bigger than that. So pretty lively fishing. Same thing for Arnie sport fishing. You saw Arnie on our cover yesterday. Arnie's a great guy, and he does a great job down there out of Arnie Sword Fishing. Find him on Facebook. And Diego Nuno, my hermano, he works on the Royal Star, and Costa Baja Sword Fishing is his beautiful little 18-foot Parker center console. And man, we've been out calico bass fishing with him in previous times. You catch rockfish. I mean, that guy fishes his butt off, as all those guys do. So always fun to go across the border. And remember, rock fishing is closed here in Southern California until the 1st of April. So it's a little while until we get going again. But you can drive across the border and experience some really good fishing, or you can jump on a San Diego-based boat and go down there. And with that in mind, the premier now out of H&M Landing announced that they are going to go to 3/4 day trips Monday through Friday. They're going across the border into Mexican waters where they can fish rockfish. In a 3/4 day trip, they can get on some nice pinnacles and rocks down there and catch you some good bottom fish. So there's one opportunity to beat the rockfish closer, and the other one is to jump on one of the Punta Cala net trips where you get a mix of big, quality, gorgeous rockfish and a shot at the yellowtail. You can definitely get in on that. Some of those yellow bites are really good, 50, 100 yellowtail, sometimes 0. I'm not promising you yellowtail. That doesn't happen on every single bite, but it can get good, and it's a yo-yo iron bite for the most part, with 50 or 60 pound being best of all. Heavy jig that you wind on fast, and man, when that rod loads up, when you're fishing the yo-yo iron, there is nothing better than that. I am working with several people, Phil Capricio, George Feldman. I mean, some of you have come out and helped us separate clothing, and we're shipping more clothing across the border. I'll be down there distributing here very, very soon. So you are, of course, going to be a part of that. Many of you have donated clothing and so much more, and participating in our raffle helps us to accomplish that and so much more. Incidentally, you want our charter list or information on our raffles or any events that we might have coming up, just send me a text and I'll fire back whatever info you want. So send me a text and tell me what you want. I want the charter boat list. I want to know how to get into the raffle. Drawing is on the 19th. We're getting close. Just send me that text at 657-227-6459, and we'll get that out to you right away. So once again, some really good opportunities south of the border. It wouldn't surprise me to see bluefin down there off Colony. It wouldn't surprise me one bit to see somebody going down there to catch rockfish and say, whoa, what in the, in a big foamer of BFTs up. So keep that in mind. That is a distinct possibility in my humble opinion. Now, taking a look at our local situation, there's quite a bit of sand bass, especially when you get weather days like this. Twilight bite has been great out of Marina Del Rey. We've seen nice fish. Earl McVicker, Earl the Pearl, he was out of there the other night. Saw some photos of him having a good time. Still catching fish, the master doing his thing. Spitfire's been all over the fish for Nick Ramirez and so many other anglers who've been up there having some really excellent fishing. So that is great news. Hopefully that's going to continue. It's been a sliding egg sinker with squid, live or fresh dead, or a lead head. And you want to fish as heavy as you can. Sometimes you can only get bit on the 20-pound fluorocarbon, www.opsonusa.com. Put in FA at checkout for a love note and a free gift from Greg Brown. And other times you can get away with the 40-pound. And you want to get away with really heavy tackle. A lot of you say, well, wait a minute, you're catching 2-pound sand bass, 3-pound sand bass. Why on earth do I need 40-pound? And the reason why is because these fish live in really bad neighborhoods. By that I mean they're in these treacherous neighborhoods with rocks and pieces of ships, and they have these holes that they live in. They come out and bite your bait and they run right back in there. So you need to get line on them ASAP. So you set the hook. The last thing you do is sit around and wait, because you wait, they're down in their little hole or they've sawed you off on a rock. So you almost set the hook and start winding right away and pulling hard. Pull, 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 pull. Get them away from that structure, and you got a shot at catching some not only really great eating fish, but fun to catch. Man, I'll tell you, it's been limits in some situations, and our weather's going to be good up until Saturday afternoon. I think it could keep going on, and if it doesn't get too windy for Saturday night, they should be able to get some fish. So as we get closer to that, we'll keep our eyes on it. But it looks like we could get some breeze, and you might get soaked also. I'm never that concerned about the rain, but I do get concerned about the wind. So watch that very, very closely as we move along. So here out of 22nd Street Landing, I believe the Monte Carlo is going to get out this morning. So jumping on with Walt and Brian is a great idea. Really great idea, because they've been catching sand bass also. They had almost 100 bass the other day. Brian Burrell told me it is biting really, really well. So give them a shot. And I think Saturday morning you might be okay. It doesn't sound like we're going to get that much rain until after the afternoon. It's going to get windy around 11 a.m., but as long as you can get out there and get a few hours in, you might be okay. Might be able to catch some fish. You know, there's this concept that we used to talk about as kids all the time. I still hear it once in a while. We used to call it a vacuum bite. I don't know what they refer to it, or if they refer to it as that anymore, but a vacuum bite is the theory that fish can sense an oncoming storm and they go on the feed to tide them over through a rough period. So I don't know if that is true or not. Kind of makes sense just logically that possibly Mother Nature could have designed their whole feeding patterns after that. So I've seen it occur many times. I've seen it not occur also. So the empirical evidence, I'm not sure. I've seen it go both ways. But hey, we're going to go with it this time anyway. So I'm thinking Friday this morning and Saturday tomorrow could be really good. So we'll keep our eyes on that for you also. The surf bite, not bad. There's a few halibut on the Lucky Craft. More and more barred perch are moving in. When you have cooler water, you get a lot more barred perch, and they love to bite that chrome crocodile. They're better on the bait. Wintertime fish just work. They eat better. You catch more when you fish bait. Sandworms or lugworms or sand crabs, whatever you can find. You know, if you're fishing down there in Mexico, like Colonet and San Quintin areas, you can dig up those Pismo clams. Nothing works better. A strip of that, it stays on the hook pretty well, so you're not constantly changing your bait as you would with mussel or something like that. I love fishing with that clam. It works so well. 2-hook rig, toss it out there, and man, it's so much fun. I got to get down there, Frank Savino. I really do. So they like the cool water, catching a lot of that. And yellowfin croaker, they love to bite on that chrome crocodile. And I'm telling you that because it works. We don't have any deal with croc or anything else. I've been using it for a long time. Lucky Craft lure is also very good on the halibut, as that's been working really well. An added bonus if you're fishing locally is more and more gray whales are starting to pass on by. That's always fantastic. The grays making their annual migration from the Bering Sea up in Baja, California, down to the warm water lagoons of Baja, California. Did I say the Bering Sea of Baja, California? Did I say that? Of Alaska, down to the warm water lagoons of Baja. Totally losing it this morning. It's early, what can I tell you? So that's always an added bonus and a lot of fun to see. And there's so many interesting facts about those gray whales. One thing, when the babies are born and it's time to go home, the dads say, "See ya, good luck." And they leave the mom and the calf alone to make the journey back. And they have to go through that gauntlet of orcas, killer whales, and the killer whales try to separate the mother from the pup or the calf. I'm not sure what the correct term is. Put a comment in the comments and teach me what that is, please. So they'll spend a great deal of time trying to do that. It's kind of sad, actually, but hey, it's Mother Nature. It's just in its raw form. That's how it goes. If you ever get to witness something like that, you'll never, ever forget it. I guarantee you that. All right. Hey, hit that like button. We really appreciate that. Subscribe, tick the bell so we can notify you when there is new content. Have a wonderful Friday. I hope you enjoy yourselves and really have fun. And you know what I always leave you with? I hope to see you really soon. Take care, my friend.
If you don't pull like a demon possessed, you will lose.
Looks like we're going to get color on it at any moment. Nice fish. Let's see that. Brian, good job.
Beautiful. We found these two Pongero guys, commercial fishermen. They had been drifting for 5 days.
Jeez.
They said a cruise ship almost ran over them at night. Like literally they could touch the side of it.
Oh.
Another yacht pulled up to them and goes, "Oh, we'll call." They were kind of like leery. They go, we'll call the authorities," and no one ever showed up. So we give them water, and these guys are just gut, and it goes right through them. Man, we gave them showers and clothes, and we call the Mexican Navy. They pretty much thought they bought the farm.
Can you name the fish that have surrounded the Wild and Sack down in San Jose del Cabo? Drop the name in our comment section.
It's like a koi pond.
Put slime on the bait, Bill. Just giving them a little food, something to eat, getting them healthy.
We call that curing bait, right?
That is right, correct, Bill.
Yeah, and
curing them out. Yeah, gets a nice coat of slime on the bait, Bill. lot of females, Phil. That's because Phil.
What is it? Oh my, whoa. Guy on the deck. Wow. Look at this, boys. Tiburon. Nice thresher shark. Our third one, we caught 2, lost 1.
He flew over once, and when I was flying over, all I remember is me grabbing the throttles and pulled back as much as I can. I was thinking I was drowning, basically. I'm swimming, I'm choking on water. I look back at him, he's choking on water. I see the boat slowly turning around.
I mean, it's like spread. We're gonna have the camera ready for this one, Phil. See that shit now? Yeah,
Look at this. Mike. Good job, Jonathan. Fish is in the anchor, and these boys got it out. And good job. Yeah, Rico. Taking everything out of there. Nice one, Mike. Woo! Yeah. Nice, Mike. Yeah. Nice. Oh my God, nice fish. Danny, good job. Thank you. Hey, what was that on, 30 pound? 30 pound. Beautiful grade. What grade is that?
Heavy line.
What do you think?
50, 60 or so.
Yeah, running on you again? That's a nice fish, Lori. Wow. Look at that. Nice, beautiful fish. Oh my God. Hey, Lori, congratulations.
Thank you.
Here, look at this. Oh, you're bit. Look at this. Marlin everywhere. Just marlin. Marlin galore.
Ospreys are raptors, birds that hunt other animals for food. But they are unique because they hunt fish. They're also known as the sea hawk or the fish hawk, and they are magnificent to observe in nature. First slide here. Fat one.
Hell yeah.
Man, you're on again. Nice. Hey, you bit again? They're eating that croc, huh? Big time. The crocodile works great on yellowfin croaker.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Fat dinner. Woo. Let's see that thing.
This one.
Wow. That is a gorgeous fish. Hey. Patrick.
Look at that form.
Big spinning you to the rail. Go, 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 go. Nice fork, man. That's a good one.